Welcome, welcome, and welcome. Yeah. Display. New folder. Let's do it. Yay. New folder. Let's call it display. Decided to give it a new folder. Why not? It's one of the most important things that we do, and it's probably one of the biggest modifiable areas that you can have. So we'll give it its own area. New file. It's going to be called Window3D. .h will do for now. Display. Yes, I want to do this so much. New file. Window3D. And that's going to be .cpp. Oh, that's so nice. Hash include. Well, we can only include one thing here. Window3D.h. Lovely. Give it a few spaces to make it happy. And I think we can go to large screen now. So hash pragma once. Why is my keyboard so far away? Yeah. Well, let's have a look at these 3 pages of notes I've got. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. Includes. We will need a window system, and we are going to use GLFW, which is Graphics Library for Windows. Yeah. And we'll use GLEW, GLEW, which is the Graphics Library Extension Wrangler, because the window is going to set up everything. It initializes OpenGL and it opens a window. So this is usually the first thing that is done in everybody's program. So of course that's where I'm going to put it. Or the initialization anyway. So we'll have to include those. Let's see if we've got them. We should have... Ooh, don't do it like that. GL... Yeah, we have glue. I'll have you, please. Thank you. It should be in your folder. If you're on Windows, you should have a special folder along the side with glue already in there and ready to use. It will have been mentioned probably in the setup area. So I'm not going to cover it here. But when I go over to Windows to do the first game, you'll see it even better, because I'll have to do it then, won't I? Yeah. What's this one? GLFW, isn't it? So it's GLFW, and I have... Oh, 3, version 3. I'll take version 3 then. Native? I don't want native. I don't want to go native. The only other thing we're probably going to need then is maths. Just in case, I think at this point. I'm going to pick up the maths. Because I need that map 4, don't I? For the size of the screen for the MVP, if I remember rightly. Going back to what we did in the renderer. So yeah, let's take on, we'll need map 4, so maths. Plural. And I want all of maths, please. So it's just maths.h, I put it as, okay. If you're wondering what maths.h says, it just puts the 2 header files in. So there you go, that's maths.h. Pragma wants to, that's on purpose because we are going to be adding more here. So maths.h, please. I want it here at the very, very beginning because this is the best place for it. And then that makes the window class virtually into a superclass. It's going to have everything in it. Okay. Don't care. That's good. Namespace is... Are we going to use Amber? Yes, we are. Yes, 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 we are. Because now we've got namespace display, and it makes more sense. Makes a heck of a lot more sense. I like this already. Not a lot, but I like it. And the class is Window3D. There we are. Lovely. Oh, look at that. Just look at that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Window3D. Ah, bless. Bless Microsoft for their lovely little cuties. Cute things that do the wrong thing at the wrong time. Right, so we have it. Window3D now exists. It's a real thing. And we are not going to be starting there. We are going to be starting up here. Because we're going to do something that I don't normally do. If there's any alterations going to be made, it's usually in this file. And that means hash define. This is the best way I find of setting up a lot of the variable, like the maximum number of keys on the keyboard. So we'll have that at 1024 keys, just in case there are that many. I don't know. I haven't counted them. Hash define maximum buttons on your mouse. How the heck should I know that? 32. I'll do. Yep. That's your keyboard and your mouse sorted out. Yes, the display is the entry point to the operating system, as I previously mentioned in the last episode or the episode before. Which means that the keyboard and the mouse is part of the operating system. If you didn't already know, you use it for Windows or whatever system you use, keyboard or mouse or both. And that means that we have to go to the operating system if they are used. So in other words, if you want to be able to use your keyboard or your mouse during your game, it has to come through the Window3D. Yes, that's lovely, isn't it? So I'm going to put that in. I don't want to use something which does it for me. GLFW doesn't touch it. We have to program that ourselves. I think the other system, the other famous one that people use does, and I've forgotten the name of it right now because I haven't used it for years. Doesn't matter, does it? No, okay. If I remember it, I'll tell you. So, perspective. Perspective. Now, these are all made up things. This isn't anything that is written in gold, except on my TV screen. That is gold, isn't it? Well, it's yellow. Perspective. Field of view. We'll have in radians. That's important because your field of view, if it's not in radians, is in degrees, and mathematically they are totally separate things. 1.0. We'll have 1 radian for our field of view, I think. Why not? You can mess about with that if you want. You could put it into degrees for all I care, and then convert it when we get to that bit. You can, doesn't matter, up to you. Define. If you're doing it in degrees, it's 1 radian is about 53, 55 degrees or something stupid. I can't remember. It's No, it's about 45 degrees either side, so it's 90 degrees, isn't it? I think. Can't remember off the top of my head. I'm not in maths mode yet. When I enter maths mode, people don't talk to me. Near plane. Yeah, we'll put it as separate words. Near plane. Where we're going to put that, the nearest thing to be drawn to us, we'll put that 10 centimeters away. That's 0.1. Yeah, that's 10 centimeters. So 10 centimeters into the screen, we start drawing our objects. If they're closer than that, we don't draw them. Hash define. What do we need here? The far plane. So Control V underscore far plane. I'm spelling plane right, aren't I? Please tell me I am. 100 meters. You can put it to what you want. You can put it to 1,000 meters. The closer, the better. There are big reasons for that in 3D, which it's called Z-fighting if you want to look it up. And the further away you put things, the more Z-fighting occurs. It's an interesting topic, not one that I go into. 100 meters range for me is enough for now, anyway. That can be changed, obviously, at any time. What else do we want? Oh, yes, there's two different types of view, isn't there? You'll know this if you've messed around with Blender a little bit, that it has a perspective view and an orthographic view. The orthographic view doesn't change the height of things the further they are away. This is brilliant for doing like top-down games. Absolutely brilliant. Fantastic. Things like that. So we are going to include that as an option. So it's orthographic. God, these words. Why did it make them so hard? Orthographic near plane is different to, well, in this case, yes, it'll be a meter, 1 meter. Because orthographic is measured different. It's measured as a percentage. So 1.0 is now 100%. So it's 100% distance. Yeah. You can guess what the next line is. I'm not doing it again. Sorry. But that is a silly word. I'm just going to take near and we'll get rid of it and put far plane, and it just becomes a minus 100%. The closest distance to you is behind you by 100%. So you can go in front to behind 100%. Lovely. That's fantastic. So I've got a nice lot of defines. They are all pre-processor defines, which means that these are stored by the processor in a fixed place, and anything in your text that says orthographic far plane will be pasted. That minus 1.0f will be copied and pasted over that name. That's what hash define that to that means. So we'll type in orthographic far plane, and the preprocessor will copy minus 1.0f and cut and paste. Yeah. There you go. Handy. You can put more in if you want to. Those are the basic ones I can think of. Good grief. We've only got glue and maths, so I'm going to use a bit of C here, aren't I, for this. So, constant, let's start with this window. What's it going to need? It's going to need char star title, m_title, title. Let's give our window a title. Yeah, we can. We'll do width and height. Sorry about the delay there, I was just thinking through it. M_width. What's the most easiest things to do next? And M_height. Height, that's width and height done. We've got GLF, haven't we? So we will have GLF W, and then it's going to be a window. Yeah, it's a weird looking one, that. That's going to be our window itself, so we'll get that into main memory. We don't want it on chip memory. _window. That's that done. That's the end of that lot. Keys and keyboard and mouse. So we will have bool. On or off is a key being pressed. Yeah, keys. And we'll have that as an array of max keys. There we go. We can do the same for the buttons on the mouse. So M_mouse buttons and open brackets, and that's going to just be max buttons, isn't it? Like that. There we go. A couple of easy ones there. Mouse position on the screen. That's going to be a float. The operating system is going to give us a double float then. So we'll have a double. And that's just going to be M_mouse X, comma, M_mouse Y. That's lovely. That's the mouse positions. And I also mentioned projection, so we're going to need that map for M_, the P out of MVP, isn't it? M_projection. So we can make that matrix in here, and last thing we'll need is a bool to make sure we know what perspective we're in. So that will be perspective projection. And if that is true, we are in perspective mode. If that is false, we are in orthographic mode. Good. I think I've got enough there to deal with. Jesus. Public. On public, what shall we have? We shall have a window. 3D. And that's going to be a const char star title, comma, int width, comma, int height, comma, bool. Darn it. Perspective projection. Yep. Perspective projection. God. Projection equals false. Because you can't always start with false if you've got any sense. So it starts in orthographic mode as a default. So that's the default. We could make it a default height and width as well if we wanted to. Do we need a minimum height and width? No. We'll just accept that the program is going to be sensible. Look who's programming. It's me. I want the title. Thank you. That's that one. Window3D. Dear me. I'm doing the programming. Bless. Right. What would you like to do with your window? I would like to be able to set the background colour. How's about that? There's a good one. Let's have that. And we will have float R for red. Why not just put red in? I don't know. Why do I abbreviate things? Float green and float RGB, isn't it? Float blue. It's called that, isn't it? And I also want an alpha channel. That's used for transparency, but we call it alpha. Because on certain things it's transparency, on other things it's other things. There you go. So on our window it's going to be the transparency of the background colour, which is pretty handy. If you don't want pure white, you can have it see-through. See-through white onto nothing. There you go. Will be not very see-through white. It'll just be the same. Anyway, let's go void. Let's see what else we can do. Set projection, yes. Put it in. So let's have it. And that's going to be int width. Int HIGHT. I'm spelling this right. HIGHT. Yeah. I usually spell it wrong for some reason. That don't know. So I'll pop that in. Void set projection again. Type. And that's going to be a bool. Excuse me. That one. Perspective projection. Right, so that's the window set up and done. Need to know if it's closed. Because if it's closed, the program shouldn't be running. Think about it. That's a const. Doesn't do anything. We'll need an update to update our window. Or for our window to update us, depending on how you look at that one. That isn't const. Notes. No. Anything else we're going to need? Yes. We will need utilities. Things like clear screen would be nice. Handy utilities. Doesn't need anything for that. We can have another utility is key pressed. That would be a nice one, wouldn't it? What would that be? That'd be an unsigned int, and operating systems and GLFW will call them, if you look it up on their web page, key codes. I think most system calls them key codes. That seems to be an industry standard. That is a const. That doesn't actually do anything. It just either triggers a button press or not. So that is const. Do the same for the mouse. Bool is mouse button pressed. Is this just going to be the same kind of thing? I think it is. No, it isn't. Yeah, it is. Why not? Yeah, it can be. Unsigned, int, and industry standard is the word button. Yeah, the industry was very, very creative on that one. Well done, industry of the world today. They call mouse buttons buttons. The only other thing we might need is get mouse position. That's the only thing I can think of there, and that we had as doubles, didn't we? Yeah, and industry standard way of getting this is by address from the operating system, so we can directly access it. Yeah, okay. Double and X double. It is an actual place in core memory, usually on the CPU, in fact, where that is stored and kept up to date. It's part of the CPU's mechanical structure. Yes, your mouse is programmed into your CPU. Well, the operating system as well. There we go. That's a const, isn't it? Yeah. That's just an accessor. All accessors are consts. That can be changed to a vec2 if you want to. No, I don't want to change that to a vec2 because I don't think we programmed vec2s, did we? No, we didn't. We were lazy. We didn't do them. Now, getters and setters. All of these I want inline. It's a bit like your maths. The programming of the maths. I don't want to clog up the Window3D.cpp with a load of getters and setters. It's got enough to do already. What I'm going to do is I'm going to inline the getters and setters so that they will get placed into wherever they are accessed in our other functions rather than placed here. As you may notice, we are going to have to pass our window through to a few functions so it can do this. But that's okay, that's absolutely fine, we'll do it. Inline. So we're going to be using inlines. And when we're doing inlines, we're going to have weird things like const, char, star. Actually, I'll put the star there, please. Get title, in case we need to. And that's just going to be a const. Open brackets, return. You've seen this 100 times before, hopefully by now, to know what I'm doing. Oops, I have to put a semicolon after that. Yep. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the getters for this, just in case they're needed. I don't think that these are ever going to be used that much, to be honest with you. But there are instances that I can think of that do need them, so that is why I'm putting them in. For instance, if you want to use multiple windows and you swap between window 1 and window 2 and the user then it goes and resizes window 1. Yes, you need to then go and find out what its width and height is. Yeah, that and start messing about with that. So get width is constant. It's not a variable thing, and that's just going to return. Oh, I wish I'd do this properly. It looks a hell of a lot better. It's just putting spaces in. I don't know. Underscore width. There we go. Doesn't take a lot, does it? Inline int get height. Very simple stuff. And that's just going to return m_HIGHD. Master programming class on getters and setters. Oh, what did I do wrong there? Thank you. I didn't do anything wrong there. I'm about to say, what the heck could I have done wrong in that? That's width, height, and projection, isn't it? Inline, because we needed that for the. We definitely need this one. The map 4. Going back to our MVPs. So I said it was going to be something silly like get projection, most likely, and there you go. Get projection. Let's type it in. Yep, I'm happy with that. Const. Because it's a constant value once it's recorded. It's a recorded const. Value being held. Return. That map 4, please, which is projection. Yep, m_projection. There we go. Lovely. I think that's all the getters. And well, I'm only going to do a few setters because they are useful. Just useful, that's all. So void. Set title. That's a nice one to do. So that will be const char star title. Yep. And all we need for that is m_title equals title. Easy peasy. I'm liking this. Oh, I didn't exactly spell that right, did I? Doesn't help. Yeah, we're okay there. Next one, inline. Void, obviously. Set width. Sorry, width. Width. There you go, that's better. Int width. Doing it all as simple as possible. I'm doing that on purpose. This way it keeps a lot of the code as simple as possible. Width equals width. And gets rid of a lot of clutter. The last one I think we'll do is set height. And that will be int height. And that's going to be m_HIGHT equals HIGHT semicolon. Done. Are we happy with that? Have I covered everything? Oh, I think I have. Let's just make sure it picks up everything. Yes, it does. So that's that. Now I'm going to do some private functions, and this is new, brand new stuff, even to me. I had to learn how to do this, not just for this video, but for myself. This part isn't. This is just me wanting an initializer in it. There we go. That's just a convenience thing for me. We are going to be using something called friending, because the operating system cannot be placed inside a header. It can't be placed inside Window3D. It can't be part of the class. The operating system cannot be part of your window. Your window can be part of the operating system. So what we're going to do, we're going to friend up with the operating system. It's not something that I have done a lot of in the past. In C++ can use this. And to do it, we use a key for the keyboard, Callback. Yeah, that's right, Callback, nearly placed in there. Callback, and it's GLFW. Now you know what we wanted this window for. And it's star window. The operating system through GLFW callback, key callback. This is specified, it's needed. Key callback is cannot be changed. You have to have it worded this way. This can't be changed. This is static. You look it up. It's on their web pages, and it tells you this is what you have to do, and you can't change it. So you've got your key. You can change star window to star W. You can change key to K. You can call it whatever you want, but you have to have these in there. This function is part of the not part of the window. It's part of the operating system functionality, and we need the scan code because that's what it's going to give us. A scan code for the key. That's what the operating system gives us. So it'll give us a key, a scan code, and an action. Pressed or unpressed. Yes. And it will also give us some mods, or God knows what. Yeah, some stuff. And yeah, we just came to the end of our line. Wow. We'll chop that in half there. Wasn't expecting that. There we go. So that's your key callback. We will also need the mouse button one, and it's void, and it specifically says mouse underscore lowercase, please, button, very important. This is C, not C++. Callback. We're using C to access the operating system. GLFW window. Ding. Again, we'll just use star window. Why not? And it's going to give us int button. And then it's going to give us an action, isn't it? It's not the same as the other one. Okay, that's fair enough. Don't mind. As you can see, there's no hints coming up or anything, because it's C. Int. Yeah, didn't get it right after all that. There we go. Int action, says on this web page, comma, move the web page. Yeah, that's a good idea. Int action, int mods. So that's all there is. Int mods. I think that's because there's less buttons. It does it that way. Weird. It's not consistent. Typical programmer's dream. And I called it a fiend instead of a friend. Very kind of me. What else will we need? Oh yeah, the cursor position. So that will just be cursor position. And that's a callback. Now I'm going to do my callbacks differently. It's a personal thing how you do your callbacks. You can either put them before window in the CPP or after Window3D .cpp at the end of it. I'm going to put it at the end because it's at the end when I've put them in the private section. So in my mind, if I'm going to look for them, I'm going to look for them at the end. It does cause a slight problem, but not a big one. GLF, capital W, small w, window. Start window, of course. And then it's going to be a double expos. Then a return. Wish it wouldn't keep giving me all these squiggly lines and things. GLFW start, yeah, okay, thank you. Crimes, it got upset there, didn't it? Double a YPOS. What else will it need? That's it, isn't it? That's all it's needed. It's a straightforward one, that. Yeah, okay, no silly mods at the end. Yeah, okay, I'll look that up as we get to it. Okay, that should do it. So, this is different to what we would normally do. What we would normally do now is we would save that out, that would help. So we do have these friends to worry about. We've got the main block. God, that's big. Alright, so we only need that bit there. That's okay. That's okay. Problem wants it. Looks okay actually, that. It doesn't look too bad. We'll namespace it up to amber display. It'll look good, that. Display. There we go. And how are we going to do this now? That's a damn good question. What are we going to put where? Right, we need to declare. This is C. I'm now programming in C, so we're going to have to declare all of the callbacks are going to be used be after Window3D. So what I'm going to do is callbacks. I'm just going to label it as that. I'll put all our callbacks in here. All the declarations. Because a friend isn't a declaration. So what we've got to do is repeat all of those callbacks, and there is another one to do as well, which hasn't been friended. Well, this will cancel out the friending. Oh, have I done this wrong? No, I haven't done it wrong. Damn sure I haven't done it wrong. Yeah, I'm just going to need you three, please. There is a fourth. I think I added that after because of something I worked out. I'll tell you in a second. Just try and get these brought back a little touch. There we go. So what I'm going to do here is just take the word friend off the front. And that makes them into declarations. And it's also now decided to do silly things here. What are you doing? Key. Yeah, that's okay. It's button, comma. It's okay. Expos, comma, YPOS. Yeah, that's okay. All reads right. But we've missed one. And what we have missed, according to this web page. Quick, get the right web back in my place on the web page. We have missed void window underscore resize. Windows are resizable, and yeah, it's just I think I've added this afterwards and not put it as friend because I didn't need to. Because there's two ways of doing this for doing callbacks. One is you put the friend and then put the callbacks here, the functions here. The second way is to ignore the friends in that part and put the declarations here. But I'm doing both, putting friends and declarations except for window resize, which I forgot. Okay, int width, comma, int height. Doesn't matter. We'll put that as a quirky bit because it is a quirky bit. So are we okay? We already locked. Okie dokies. Yeah, that's okay now. That's made me happier. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another line across here. For the callbacks at the end, so I know to look for that to get to the callbacks. There we go. So we can start here now. Right. Should we put the callbacks in first, considering we've got it on screen? We'll deal with the operating system first and then do the display. That's possibly a good idea, because I've got the web page up. Oh dear. Oh dear. Here we go, callbacks. That'll do. It's close enough. It's close enough for a biscuit. So those are the declarations. So we're programming in C now. We're not programming in C++. I've got to remember that, otherwise I'll cock it all up. So it's that. There we go. Let's pop that one in. Same kind of ideas as C++, because obviously they derived, well, C++ was derived from C. There we go. One of the beauties. Multi-language programming. Yep, I don't care what programming language I use. I'll use anything that works. And this works the best. It works the fastest and is really nice. I think I measured it out that in under, what is it, 1500ths? Yeah, 1500ths of a second you can get a model up on the screen. That's blooming fast. That's more than a flashing in the eye. It's quicker to put a model on the screen than it is to draw the screen in full. As you can see, by TV's only doing it 60 frames per second. But that's all they need. I think they're going up nowadays with HD though, aren't they? They're going up to bigger frames per second, which is nice with HD4, which is okay. Now, what do we need to do? We need to use C. What does C use? CL will use just OpenGL viewport, will it be? Yeah, viewport, that's right. And it will go from the top left hand corner of the viewport to the bottom right hand corner of the viewport. So that's just width and height. It is this easy. It's C. C is a lot simpler, funnily enough, until we get to the next line probably. Window3D though. Oops. Window3D star window equals a static cast. Because it's in C, I have to cast it from C into C++ window. Window3D address, well, wherever we've put our window, basically. And we are then going to have to use the pointer for that. Wherever we've put our window in memory, because we're going to do that in a second or two, in this bit here, we are going, GLFW automatically for us in the background makes a pointer so that we can actually use the operating system callback to set the width and the height of the window. So if it's dragged with the mouse, the operating system will drag the window for us, and then this callback will be called and tell our program that it is now this width and height. Very clever stuff, very clever stuff. But it's called GLFW get window user pointer. It's the one at the bottom, and that's just going to be window. That's what it uses. There we go. And that is done for us by GLFW, that line. So what we're doing is we're taking the C and we are changing it. We're using a static cast into C++, and through GLFW it will resize our window for us. Very nice indeed. So I'm happy with that. Anything else we need? Oh god, yes. Please, yes. Never ever forget. God. Set. Projection, isn't it, that we need? Remember how we're going to need the MVP, the projection bit? We better set it now. That's why we need that set function. So we're going to use that. Width, comma, height. That will help. Anything else we'll need? No, we just need to alter the projection. Yeah. So what we're going to do is, for our instance of the window, we are then going to call on our instance of the window its function, set projection, which we added here somewhere. Yep, set projection there with type. So that's what that's all about. So we're mixing it all in using C. Lovely. Callback. Keyboard. We'll again need an instance of our window, or the instance of our window that we are currently using. That will be that one. And again, it's going to be a static cast. As we cast it through from C into Window3D address, the address that we've used for our window. Lovely. That's open brackets. And this is going to be... oh, it's just the same thing, really, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's the same line. Yeah. Am I happy with that? Nearly. Call it Window3D, shall we use the function properly? It's our function, we haven't written it yet, but we can still use it at this point. It doesn't know we haven't written it. Shh, don't tell it. And our window pointer is which keyboard, so m_keys are there. Yes, it's done for us, this, and it's a key. That takes key from there. That's the number of the key, and we'll take on the action of the key. So it's going to equal action. And we have to reverse the action because GLFW only gives us a release, I think. is it there? Release, yeah. There it is. That one. So GLFW gives us that hash definition for the keys and their action, which is kind of it. Now, the scan codes. If scan code is not equal to 0, then scan code equals 0. Why am I doing that? Because when I compile, if I don't use the variable scan code, it will give me an error. The compiler will give me an error, variable unused. And we have to use it. We don't have a choice. GLFW states that we have to use it. So I am using the scan code. And I'm going to comment this as compiler warning unused variable. That's to stop it giving us that compiler warning. And of course, if open brackets mods is not equal to 0, you can see where this is going, then a mods equals 0, because we're not using them. And just put a little note in. If statements used to stop compiler warnings. Is that good or is that bad programming? Well, unfortunately, we don't get a choice in the matter. Mainly because we have to use them. We're not given that choice. It's C. In C, you have to use every single variable that is passed into a function. If you don't, it gives a compiler warning. So there we go. This is now just going to be the first line of everything, isn't it? Let's be honest. Anything else I need to do for these? Yeah. Better do the action on this one. So that's your first line. Then we'll do the window action. So it's window action. This one is not position, it's the mouse button one, isn't it? So it's M underscore mouse buttons. Buttons. That's why we needed friend, by the way, so we could use the private variables like mouse buttons and M underscore keys. Those refer to private variables within mwindow.h. So there you go. M keys, M mouse buttons. Private variables are in the private section before the public. We've friended, so we can use them in our friended thingies. And we can access them directly into the static casted instance of our window. Neat, isn't it? It's all weird mumbo-jumbo-y stuff. Not something you learn at basic C++ class, because it isn't. It's C. Go and learn C first before you learn C++, is my answer to that one. It's actually a good idea, to be honest with you, to do that. Action. We do have an action this time, don't we? Yeah. Action equals, and it's going to be a GLFW, and of course they've done it the wrong way around for me. So it's not equals, because it's a bool. GLFW underscore release again, isn't it? Oh dear. Bless. We'll have that one. So it's the same as a key press, mouse button press. Exactly the same kind of thing. We do have mods, do we? Yeah, so There we go. Just copy that line. There you go. That's the mods done. And here we better use a window to record the X and the Y position. You probably can do it now. You probably know how it's done. Window. We'll need two, won't we? Because we'll need m_mouse X. And that is going to equal X position, which is a number 1 from 0 to how big your screen is across. That's that semicolon, and window m_mouse Y equals Y position, and that's it. That's all your callbacks done. Not as difficult as you may first think, but that C language stuff interacts with a callback into the operating system. So the operating system will send a message out anytime an action happens on the window, and our callbacks will spot those messages and take the actions that we dictate here on our M-mouse keys, M-mouse button, M-mouse X and Y, and the special one at the top, which is just the resizer and resets our projection with width and height, which is a nice one. I like that one. There we go. So all we have left to do now is the middle bit, and we just crossed the hour mark. Blast. So what I'll do is I will set it up to be done, and we'll do it in our next episode. So it's those. That's all we've got left to do now. Copy. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. So you've probably seen me do this a million times. Bing. There we go. Shift Alt. Down, 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 down. There we go. Yeah, okay. Get rid of all of these thingies off the end. Don't need the consts as well, do I? If I do, I'll put them back in, but don't think I need those. There we go, and take that off. You can't redeclare that twice. You can only do it once. You can't redeclare a declaration. There we go, that's alright then. There we are. Come on, start clearing your underscores. Looks right to me. Don't know what it's talking about. Oh, it's not right, is it? Of course. Silly me. Silly me. Let's actually make it a member of Window, shall we? I want the space as well, please. Nothing personal. Hey. Colon, colon. Control V. Colon, colon. Control V. Colon, colon. All the basics. Let's do the basics properly, shall we? I'll be honest with you, this makes it very easy to do C++, because if you've been following along by now, you know exactly what's going on, you know exactly what I'm doing. All you're thinking about is where did all the words come from, and you just make them up. You don't have to call it Window3D, you could call it WinX or just Window. Most people do just call it Window. I call it Window3D because then it reminds me what it is. I give things names that mean something to me, like set background colour. You could have just put set colour. But what colour? So you may as well put background in. That's how I derive all of these. Is the window open or closed? Well, if it's closed, I need to know. And I've put closed and not open because if you do close it, you won't know if it's open or not. because you'll have nothing to detect. So you need to detect the closing of the window. Just a thought. So that's how I derive these things. It's just by sheer logic and learning from mistakes I've made in the past 5 years writing this. Yeah, some funny mistakes, like trying to detect an open window and working how to do it. Well, you know if the window's open, it's there in front of you. It's like, duh, doesn't work like that. You have to detect if it's being closed, not if it's being opened. Yeah, because that's when you need to stop the program. So Window3D is the start and the end of the program. It is the first function that should run and the last function that should run because of that. So that is why I left it till last to do, because it is the first and it is the last. It is the alpha and the omega to the whole program. And yeah, we'll just take one line out there. Right, I'm just getting a few doofries. Let me just check that I haven't naffed it all up with my doobries. Is key pressed and stuff. Yes, I have. Idiot me. It is const there. Do apologise. My bad. I took them off. Oh. What? Ah, is key press what came there? Whoopsie daisy. My bad. Press the wrong button. As ever. It's not often to do that, is it, hey? I never press the wrong button. Honest. Pop you there, pop you there. And that's a const. Okay, anything else whinging at me? What? Fine. If that's what you're telling me to do, I'll do it. There you go. You are now. You happy? Yeah, good. Everybody's happy? Yeah. All we've got to do is fill these in. So I'll do that next episode. In the meantime, I hope this wasn't too complicated. If it was, just copy it out and just paste it and just pop it all in and be happy with it, because it doesn't matter. It's not something you'll ever do again, probably. Or if you do, you'll probably use a different system. You might not even be using GLFW, because it is too complicated for most people to use because of this. The reason I use it is because this is faster. It's written in C, it's direct access to the operating system, and you're not using somebody else's program to read the keyboard and mouse. You're using your own program here to read the keyboard and mouse. The values are coming from the operating system, but we're reading it here. Okay, no problem. Thank you, and take care. And above all, have fun.